Let's get more now on that developing situation in South Sudan, and I'm joined by Professor Macharia Munene, an international relations expert with the United States International University here in Nairobi. Professor, thank you for joining us now. We're looking at the situation here in South Sudan. Already today, the African Union chairperson and IGAD regional organizations have been there in South Sudan trying to negotiate with President Salva Kiir. Is this going to bear any fruit?
Let us be hopeful. I think it will bear fruit because it is in the interest of both sides to tone down the rhetoric and the violence, and the presence of the AU chair and the IGAD chair is a major statement by the countries concerned. Not to mention that the two countries, the AU chairs, Ethiopia, IGAD chair, Kenya, these are two of the most concerned countries with regard to the development in South Sudan. I think it will bear fruit, but it will require a lot of work and effort and reaching out to all the sides and everybody who is concerned and who can make a difference.
President Salva Kiir, though, has said he's open for dialogue, but we are hearing reports from the other side that they may not be ready for talks. Where is this all leading?
Well, these are preliminary statements. It is in the interest of Riek Machar not to be seen to be intransigent. It is also in the interest of Salva Kiir to be reaching out because none of the sides would serve its interest if it is seen to be outrightly anti-peace in the process. So depending on how they are reached, both sides, I think they will see sense and then work out a deal in which they can tone down the rhetoric and the hostility, because it is not in the interest of anyone in South Sudan for this to happen.
We see that the conflict, though, or there are suggestions that the conflict is still in its infancy. Can this be contained?
Yes, it can be contained. And that's why the effort being made by IGAD and the AU right now, and to commend others, I think other countries from outside the continent are also making effort to show both sides that they should not expect support in continuing with the chaos. So I think it will bear fruit, but we should be patient. It is not going to happen tonight, but it will be done with concerted effort. All pressures being put on everyone. So those who have access to Riek Machar, those who have access to Salva Kiir, put pressure and say, look, it is not in your interest to do this. Tone down the fighting, and then move forward.
Regional and the international communities, though, are trying to contain the situation, but there are concerns that this conflict may turn out to be a fully fledged civil war. What would be the impact of that domestically inside Sudan and also for the region?
Well, inside Sudan, it's already bad, but it's likely to be worse. In fact, you are looking at a possible fragmentation of country, the Somali way. And that's not the sort of thing that anybody wants. And I do not think even those who are leading the fight would want to see that. What we have going on in South Sudan is struggle for power, nothing else. And when you have people struggling for power, then you need to reach them out and say there are better ways of getting power than this or that. So it can be contained.
How are you reading this, though? Are you reading it as a political conflict or a civil war?
It's right now a political conflict. It's power struggle, nothing else. But it's likely to degenerate into a civil war. And that is why the countries are concerned to stop it from degenerating to that point and just deal with the political struggle, power struggle. And let's remember that the two protagonists, Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, even before independence, they used to have their differences.
All right.
Power differences. Even when John Garang was there, they used to have this thing. Now, all they did is to come together for the period, and it seems as if they had not sorted out their internal differences by the time they got to independence. And they did not continue with that.
We'll leave it there for the moment, though. Professor Macharia Munene, international relations expert at the United States International University here in Nairobi. Thank you for joining us here on Africa Live.
My pleasure.